Okay, we have here Sean.
Hello.
Sean, can you help me a bit?
Sure.
Talk about the knife you made.
So this is a model I call the Curator.
The Curator.
It's a 3.2-inch blade with a cutting edge and a false edge at the spine.
Okay.
So this particular piece was actually commissioned to me by one of the owners of the Curator Coffee and Cocktails in Makati. So he had me engrave his logo on one of the studs, one of the pivot screws. So that's their logo.
Their logo. Okay.
Yeah, that's their company logo.
Okay.
And then here's my signature right at the spine of the knife. Right there.
Wow, you did it on the spine?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I have a stencil and very painstakingly aligned it towards the center. So it shows Sean Alonzo.
Is that done manually?
Yeah.
Not acid etch, not
Well, it is a kind of it's a kind of electrical chemical etch.
Okay.
Yeah. So the studs, so the entire frame is made of titanium.
Okay.
So the pocket clip, the back spacer, and the liners, they're made of titanium.
Okay.
The screws are also made of titanium. So there's the only part that's steel here is the blade itself.
Wow.
And the blade is made of this high carbon stainless steel called CPM 154.
Okay. I'm familiar with CPM steels. Okay.
Yeah. So
They're good steel.
yeah, so it's Crucible's line of powder metallurgy steel, and Crucible did like a CPM version, a particle metallurgy version of a lot of old steel.
Okay.
So that caused the steel to become tougher, caused it to become harder,
Okay.
or rather tougher at a higher hardness.
Yeah.
So for the folding knife, I made it around 62 Rockwells, and I cryofroze it just so that it's at the zenith of its performance.
Yeah.
So it's the highest possible condition that the steel can perform.
Cool.
Yeah. So the entire frame is titanium, which I blasted and blackened, and then it's called a liner lock. And this was made for a left-handed person.
Okay.
So the left-hand liner is
How is
right
the
there.
lock? Oh, okay.
So the lock, you push it to the side like that,
Okay.
and then it just drops shut like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So the entire handle material is made of this species of mango called batibot.
Okay.
And I got it from a friend who's Aita. So the main purpose of this is like some kind of crude sinigang. Like they use it as a souring agent along with this leaf called balakaw.
Yeah.
It tastes like guava.
Okay.
So they mix that to make gamey meats less gamey. So it's a souring agent, and I have this theory that it's something that can be used to make it taste like a more traditional sinigang, because that's what they use it for. They use it to make like some kind of crude sinigang. It's not as sophisticated as the Tagalog sinigang, but it's still sinigang.
Cool.
You know, it's a souring agent. There's carb, there's protein, and there's like a bone soup base.
Maybe
So-
that's a secret to a long life.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in arts, there's always hiccups. So
Yeah.
are there any hiccups you have encountered in making that?
Well, I think for this one it was actually pretty straightforward.
Really? No,
Yeah.
no bumps, no hiccups, no.
Well, it took a while to make, and
So you really took your time.
Yeah.
No mistakes, no.
I'd say I wish I did some kind of reinforcement to the mother of pearl.
Okay.
But aside from that, I think I made the scale a little bit too thick actually.
Okay.
So
Do you think it's too thick?
no, I don't. It's
don't?
pretty standard. But then I normally like to make my folding knives thinner, because when you put it in your pocket, it's supposed to disappear.
You're right.
And I wish I used like a different kind of pearl, because as much as possible whenever I use oysters, I like using sophisticated colors.
Okay.
So for example, look at these thumb screws. So in some angles it looks white.
Yeah.
In some angles it looks red,
Violet
pink,
and,
violet, green.
It's like a rainbow.
Yeah, like a rainbow. So I wish I used a thinner piece of wood because this shallow color only exists on the surface. Like the deeper you grind into the shell, it becomes lustery white.
Cool.
Yeah, so these pivot colors are just plain white, like that.
Some are like.
Some are iridescent with
Yeah.
like a bit of pink, green, but then mostly it's white, and it's still beautiful.
Yeah,
but then,
it's a perfect match for the wood.
yeah,
Because the wood is a bit there's more lines and stuff.
yeah. So these lines are actually caused by the grain spalting.
Okay.
So I stabilize the mango in resin just so that it's in the most durable possible condition that it can perform. And then
The action. How did you do that? Like it's so smooth.
yeah, the action is made of ceramic bearings with Delrin cage.
Oh, okay.
So Delrin is like a very low friction plastic.
Okay.
And the ceramic ball bearings inside just make sure that it snaps open,
Okay.
and then it drops shut when I need it to.
Wow.
And then it won't shake out.
It also sounds so good.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. You did a good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one of the things about tie-in folding knives is the action.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
a lot of the knife collectors use this as fidget toys.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do that.
So-
I fidget with my knives.
Yeah. So even in traffic, I'm just like whoop,
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
and then close, and then open, and close.
Yeah.
So this is a lefty. So it's actually supposed to be for the other hand.
Okay.
So this lock gets pushed like that. It gets pushed down so the blade can drop shut.
Okay.
And the pocket clip is supposed to be on the other side if it's a right-handed knife. But then since it's a left-handed knife, it just snaps open.
You made a cool clip.
Yeah.
What's that made of?
So it's made of 6AL4V titanium.
Oh, it's not a horn or something.
No, it's titanium.
Okay.
So it's springy.
Okay.
So I sculpted this from a flat sheet of titanium, and then I contoured it all by hand, and then I blasted it. So it has a tactile feeling. Like you could feel a bit of grain all around the knife, and I like that.
That is
because-
a masterpiece.
Thank you.
Shan. That's
Thank
a
you so
masterpiece.
much. Yeah. So I sculpted every part of this by hand, and each part of this knife, even the screws, have a custom thing added to them one way or another. Like the screws I blackened and blasted, and then the pivot collars I had to do custom sculpting on it just so that it's rounded, because I like the shape of domes, because the way light plays with it is just something else. It's better than just flat.
It's true. It's true.
And with the mirror polish on the blade, or rather the high gloss satin, it's
Yeah.
not mirror.
Yeah. I like satin.
I
I
like
hate
satins
black.
too.
I hate the painted ones.
Yeah.
Like I think it's Cerakote. I don't like that.
So
I like that finish.
yeah, and the way I ground it, it's a hollow grind.
Okay.
So even though you remove like 1/4 an inch off the knife, it's still gonna cut as good as you got it.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's why I love hollow grinds.
So how do you recommend to sharpen that?
It's just basic sharpening, yeah. Sharpening stone, coarse and then fine. But then it's gonna be you're not gonna do anything with this that would require it to be consistently sharpened.
Okay.
Just because the steel is extremely hard. It's very tough. very
CPM is a
durable.
very tough steel.
Yeah. And then I did some jimping on this area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just because if this was plain, it would take a lot more force.
Yeah.
So I did jimping and then I rounded the jimping just so that you don't need a lot of effort to snap it.
Cool.
So I really like the action of like snapping, like it sounds solid.
Yeah.
And then it has a really
I like the
nice
sound.
snapping sound, right?
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Sounds solid and there's a bit treble to it.
Yeah.
Usually there's the knives I have held. It's a bit, in the mid range of sound.
Yeah.
This one is a bit in the treble side.
I feel like it's
I
a
like
mix.
it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a mix of the ceramic bearings and the titanium ring, the carbidized titanium also. So like you could, like
You know the sound of shears?
yeah. Kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So cool.
Yes.
I want to play with that, but I think I'm gonna drop it. So
It's okay.
I won't.
Yeah.
So Sean, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty knife.
Thank you.
I hope you make more.
Yeah,
We're always excited
definitely.
to see more of your stuff.
Yeah, every time.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you so much. Thank you.